This morning we will talk about bringing illusions to the truth. This is one way of expressing what the basic practice in A Course in Miracles is in terms of forgiveness. That we bring the illusions to the truth, we bring the darkness to the light, we bring the ego to the Holy Spirit. These are all different ways of saying the same thing. It is the essence of what forgiveness is. We look at our illusory thought systems of attack, specialness, judgment, criticism, pain, suffering, etc. And we look at it through the eyes of Jesus or through the eyes of the Holy Spirit. And they, by virtue of their loving presence and defenseless presence, non-ego presence in our minds, we're able to look at the ego's thought system and say, I don't want this anymore. In other words, I pay careful attention to what my ego is doing, and I bring that to the truth of the atonement that says the separation has not occurred. Indeed, as one looks through the early workbook lessons, one sees that this is a key element in the practice. We're continually told that we should search our minds. And what Jesus is talking about is searching our minds for any thought that is not of God, any thought that does not speak of or reflect the oneness of heaven. Any thought that does not speak of the love of God that embraces all people without exception. And we search our minds for all the thoughts of specialness, separation, judgment, attack, etc. And we bring those thoughts to the thought for the day, which is always some expression of forgiveness or some expression of the right-minded thought system that Jesus is teaching us. So by bringing the darkness to the light, by its very presence, the light will dissolve the darkness. By bringing the light, the illusion to the truth, by its very presence, the truth would dissolve and undo whatever the false thinking was that we had made real before. Now, because this is what will undo the ego tries to turn the tables on us, and instead of bringing illusions to the truth, it will bring truth to the illusion. And when you bring truth to the illusion, the truth then becomes part of the illusion, which of course is a very clever way and a very clever tactic on the ego's part to ensure that we remain not as God created us, but as the ego miscreated us, i.e. separate and individual and special. And one of the more prominent ways that the ego brings the truth to the illusion, rather than the other way around, is to have God or Jesus or the Holy Spirit somehow be involved with our everyday world. And so we seemingly justify the Course's emphasis on developing a relationship with Jesus or the Holy Spirit as our teachers by having them be involved with all the specifics of our lives without realizing that we are simply very cleverly negating the true correction factor and the true atonement factor that Jesus and the Holy Spirit represent for us. How could they correct a problem in the mind if we have dragged them from their place in the mind and brought them into the world, thereby having them become part of the illusion? This is not what the Course means by asking Jesus or the Holy Spirit for help. By bringing illusions to their truth, we ask for help in looking at the illusion that we have brought from the projected world back into our mind, or the Course being, as Jesus tells us at the beginning of chapter 21, the world we see is an outward picture, an outside picture of an inward condition, that rather than see the illusion of the world as reflecting or being a projection of the illusion in the mind, and that's what we bring to Jesus for healing, we again rather do it the other way around and bring them into the world, thereby ensuring that the projection now becomes reality. After all, if Jesus is helping me with a specific problem with my body, or a specific problem my body is having with another body, then clearly he's telling me that the body's real. And all the while, the true Jesus and the true healing rests and waits patiently for us in our right minds, awaiting our decision for it. So again, what it means to bring illusion to the truth is when we find ourselves being upset by something in the world, that we go to Jesus for help, and his help is to tell us that the world I am seeing, the world I'm reacting to and experiencing, is an outside picture of an inward condition. He redirects my attention from the world, where I put it, back to the mind where I had chosen incorrectly, namely chosen the ego as my teacher rather than him. Now that I know what the problem is, namely it's not your ego, it's not even my ego, the problem is that I chose my ego by rejecting Jesus or the Holy Spirit as my teacher, and that's the problem. I can now do something about changing. I can now meaningfully choose again. The very end of the text has that beautiful and very inspiring final section, choose once again. How can I choose again if I don't know I have a mind? And I will never know I have a mind if I have brought the truth of Jesus into the world of illusion, demanding, therefore, that he fix the problem here. But by recognizing my mistake, which is the whole point of the Course, and correcting it, I bring the illusion of my misperceptions back to the misperception in my mind, which comes from my mischoosing or choosing wrongly. Now I could truly avail myself of Jesus' help, and I could bring my illusion to his truth, and in that process, I am healed.